FBI Director James Comey said yesterday that there is not enough evidence to prosecute Hillary Clinton over her use of private email while she was Secretary of State, but that she was, quote, extremely careless with sensitive emails.
Katrina Pearson is the national spokesperson for the Donald Trump campaign, and she joins us on the set. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, Katrina. So the FBI said that they didn't have enough evidence to prosecute Hillary Clinton, but based on what Director Comey said yesterday, what does the Trump campaign believe an appropriate punishment would be for Secretary Clinton?
Well, at first, FBI Director Comey says that Hillary Clinton's lawyers deleted a lot of emails that they don't have anymore, and therefore there is no evidence to prove intent. But you could argue that setting up the server outside the system, coming from a woman who was a decade as the governor's wife, who spent 2 terms in the White House, married to the president, who was a 2-term United States senator, and who served as Secretary of the United States. She should have known better. Even the FBI says that. The simple fact that she set up this private server, which the purpose of a private server is to go outside the standard, to me shows intent. So yes, we fully believe she should have been indicted. However, the FBI director said they could not prove intent, but it's because a lot of the information was deleted permanently.
Your boss tweeted something out right after I think Comey left. It's something to the effect of the system being rigged. Another example of the system being rigged. Then we heard in some of his remarks yesterday him alluding to the idea that perhaps, there was a little bit of bribery at play here, that perhaps Loretta Lynch was being bribed by Hillary Clinton when Hillary Clinton suggested, yeah, I'd keep her on the job maybe. Let's listen to what he said.
Did you see today Hillary announced that she may consider the Attorney General? I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, other than Hillary, of course. I mean, the Attorney General sitting there saying, if I get Hillary off the hook, I'm going to have 4 more years or 8 more years. But if she loses, I'm out of a job. It's a bribe.
Okay, so where does something like that come from?
It's a serious accusation.
Are there any facts or anything behind that?
Well, because everyone knows politics is a very clean business, and these types of things never happen. Not to mention, the former president just walks onto the Attorney General's plane a couple of days before Hillary Clinton met with the FBI. You would have to suspend all logic and reason to assume that this did not come up in those discussions. And Mr. Trump is pointing out the system is rigged. If you or I were accused by the FBI of potentially giving out State Department secrets, do you think you would have received a phone call saying, could you please send us your emails? No, they would have come into your home and they would have taken the servers. They would have not given you the opportunity to have your lawyers delete 30,000 emails.
But Katrina, when Mr. Trump says the system is rigged, he's there, by doing that, he's implying that James Comey, the director of the FBI, is somehow a part of this system. Director Comey is a Republican. He's impartial. He's meant to be impartial. Do you believe, does Mr. Trump believe that Director Comey is part of the Hillary Clinton system?
No, I think Mr. Trump believes that FBI Director Comey was right. He listed a number of things that Hillary Clinton herself lied about to the American public throughout this entire process. But because there are missing emails, there's no way to prove that there was intent. There was no indictment.
All right.
That is a problem.
Let me ask you about the comments that Mr. Trump made last night while he was speaking in North Carolina. He complimented Saddam Hussein and his handling of terrorists during his time in power. He's in the past quoted Mussolini. He's in the past said that he admires Vladimir Putin. Does Mr. Trump admire these strongmen?
I think Mr. Trump's point is you have leaders out there who are doing what's in the best interest of their own people, to their knowledge. And Mr. Trump is simply saying
Saddam Hussein gassed his own people.
With regard to Saddam Hussein specifically, Mr. Trump was not complimenting him. He was pointing out the obvious. Saddam Hussein was a horrible, horrible dictator, but he also killed terrorists. This is important because
but he was
of
a
the
state
broad
sponsor of terrorism, Katrina.
Which Hillary Clinton is taking money right now today from state sponsors of terror. This is the broader point of foreign policy.
We'd have to. That's not been proven.
The Clinton Foundation. So this is the broader point of foreign policy. It is extremely important because Hillary Clinton was at the forefront of going into Iraq, going into Libya, even allowing the regime change in Egypt. And now we have terrorism on the rise globally. that's a problem.
But I think the thing is, we've seen him be criticized, like you brought up, for quoting Mussolini. He's been criticized for this sort of stuff before, and then he does it again. Why even bother bringing up someone like Saddam Hussein? Why invite that sort of criticism, especially on a day like yesterday when everyone was talking about the director's criticism of Hillary Clinton, at the FBI director's criticism.
That should have been the headline, but instead
he didn't even have to throw Saddam Hussein's name in.
That's because you're assuming the media wants to cover the Hillary Clinton email scandal.
We've covered it. We've covered it extensively. We spent 8 hours yesterday covering it.
It doesn't matter what Mr. Trump says. Okay, they are going to pick it apart. They're going to come up with some racist, anti-Semitic, chauvinistic, misogynist undertone. That's what they do, because they know that Mr. Trump has touched onto something that's extremely important to all Americans, and that is government corruption at the top. That is a foreign policy system that has failed over decades and have left Americans unsafe in their own homes.
You brought up anti-Semitic, and before we were talking about the FBI statement, we were talking about the tweet sent out over the weekend, and the question sort of comes up again. Why these missteps when it comes to social media? Why, as people have called it, a forced error? When is he going to learn?
And there's this, and Katrina, I think what a lot of people want to know when it comes specifically to that, this tweet here that we're playing, we're showing on our screen, is at first it seemed as if the campaign was trying to spin it by saying it was a sheriff's star and that it was taken from, but if you look at that, any reasonable person looking at that would see the Star of David, would see the money behind it and see the words corrupt and say this is anti-Semitic. Just admit.
Not necessarily true, considering how she was under investigation from the FBI. There is this massive amount of money that's going into the Clinton Foundation for speeches. There is corruption.
But you knew it was wrong because you changed it and made it into a circle.
No, they changed it because of the fallout that was occurring. The reason why none of us even looked at it that way is because we don't look for things like that. You have to look for those kinds of things to see it.
But
hold on.
Shouldn't you be looking for it then?
No, absolutely not. One more thing. Hillary Clinton was born in Chicago, Illinois. That is Barack Obama's home team. The Cook County Sheriff's Department is that badge. So to say that the campaign is somehow making it up, the Cook County Sheriff's Department is a 6-pointed star badge. But that
image was taken from a Twitter account that is anti-Semitic.
It was not. It was taken from an anti-Hillary account that tweets a lot of images. Just because that image was lifted and posted on other sites does not mean that's where it originated.
But shouldn't this be the sort of thing that you check and double check, though? It's not the first time that this has happened, that a tweet has been sent out and there have been accusations of racism or anti-Semitism or sexism. At this point, why are we seeing this coming up again?
Well, because that's what the media wants to talk about. Again, this was a badge. Again, look at Cook County. Don't look at the Trump campaign. This was a sheriff's badge. So you have people in the media, and I watched this unfold over the weekend, mainly on CNN, pointing out the anti-Semitic tone. It's absolutely absurd. Donald Trump has been honored by Jewish organizations. He has a Jewish daughter, Jewish grandchildren. The social media director is married to a Jewish woman. Maybe that's not a defense, but it's quite obvious that there are no anti-Semitic undertones and there was no intent. Hillary Clinton just escaped criminal punishment because they couldn't prove her intent. Here the intent is obvious and he's still being criticized.
All right, let's move on. Hillary Clinton is set to give a speech today in Atlantic City, and she's going to go after Donald Trump's business record. The Clinton campaign is also out with a new ad. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Ahead of that speech, let's take a look.
A lot of the people who helped build the Taj were stiffed, just got 30 cents on the dollar.
These were small businesses, so you don't pay a $100,000 bill, it puts them out of business.
He left Atlantic City with so many empty hands out, and he owed money to them.
He doesn't have no heart, that man. The only thing he has is what he's worried about himself.
How's the Trump campaign going to respond? How's Mr. Trump going to respond to these people who say they've been bilked out of their money?
Well, I think just pointing it out, like Ms. Coker right there. She claimed that Trump took her property, and there were ads run in the primary saying it was destroyed and Trump stole it, when in fact he did it. He didn't take her property. So that's just one part of these types of things. But I think it's extremely important that I'm actually thrilled Hillary Clinton is going after his business record, considering that he has been so successful. But it goes to show how completely tone deaf Hillary Clinton and her campaign is on how business actually works in this country. You have an idea, you go out there, you create a business, and you hire people. Some things work, some things don't. hundreds of opportunities Mr. Trump has created, not only in this country, but across the globe, and has employed tens of thousands of people. So of course, she's going to go after it because she doesn't understand what it means to sign the front of a paycheck. Whereas all the workers that are out there supporting Mr. Trump understand how important it is to get out there and do the things that he did.
Well, we know that Hillary Clinton's in Atlantic City today. What's Donald Trump doing?
We are campaigning, and I'm actually here in New York today because we're getting ready to plan a great convention. So we're just really excited. Look, we understand from the beginning the media was not going to be nice to Mr. Trump, and they're going to point out everything. But at the end of the day, this is about the voters, and Mr. Trump is going to continue to be Mr. Trump, and he's going to get out there and he's going to talk to them because there's a huge contrast between what a Hillary Clinton administration would look like versus a Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants to put the country back into the hands of the people that made it great.
So you mentioned the convention. Any idea who may be speaking at the convention?
We have not released that yet. I understand that that's supposed to be coming out in the next day or so. So you'll see.
Yeah, Katrina, before we let you go, there is word on the street that perhaps Governor Chris Christie is a potential vice presidential pick for Mr. Trump. What can you tell us?
Well, I think there's word on the street that a lot of people are being considered.
Is Chris Christie being considered?
Well, what I will say is Mr. Trump is keeping that very close to the vest. I have not even seen the list. It's something that he's taking very personally. It's not going to be someone that can deliver a state or a demographic. It's got to be someone that can help him push forth his vision. It's not about Mr. Trump. It's going to be about America.
He has said in just the last couple of days that it would be nice to have unity with the Republican Party, but that he doesn't need it. Is that how he feels? He doesn't need the Republican Party? Because so far, the Republican Party has been lukewarm, to say the least, when it comes to embracing Mr. Trump.
Well, I think if you look at the primary results, the Republican Party turned out very well. It's some of the leadership in the Republican Party. So he's talking about unity among the leaders in the party. The people, for the most part, are generally on board. He's broke the record in GOP turnout with 16 candidates in there. The rallies are massive. The support is so strong. When you look at Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, even in the national polls, it's within 5 points. And it shouldn't be this way, considering how she's already spent hundreds of millions of dollars, had one opponent, and the media has completely decimated his character. This goes to show you that the party is unified.
All right. Trump campaign national spokesperson Katrina Pearson, always good to have you. Thanks for staying in the arena with us. We appreciate it.